Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Healthy Pod. Today on the Healthy Pod, I am so excited. I am joined by someone whose story is as inspiring as it is real, Michelle Tegola. Michelle began her career as a personal brand builder. In fact, I worked with her years ago when I had little to no confidence, and she helped me so much. She's a social media strategist and she's helped others find their voice online, but her journey has been one of transformation, spiritual, personal, and so deeply human. And guys, along the way, she found her lifelong love and partner, she converted to Judaism, and together they built a life rooted in faith, love, and resilience. And when Michelle was faced with a critical health diagnosis, her partner was unwaveringly supportive, and her own strength carried her through. And that experience, along with motherhood and her evolving spiritual path, have planted the seeds for something new. So she has launched Reina of Judea, a candle brand born out of healing, ritual, and the power of light. And I cannot wait to hear all about it. Michelle's story is clearly about reinvention, resilience, and creating beauty from life's hardest moments. So Michelle, welcome to the Healthy Pod.
Thank you for having me. Wow. Was your goal to make me start crying at the beginning?
No, not at all. Not at all. Honestly, I have always been in awe of you and your magical powers to see the beauty in people. And I felt I just felt so instantly connected with you when I literally saw you online, and I reached out because I felt like I needed your help to really share who I was in my personal brand journey. Even though I was a brand marketer and I could do it for other brands, it's so hard to do for yourself. And you helped me so much. And I would just love to hear about your story and how you got to this place where you could see this light in people. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about your kind of early journey in being a personal brand builder.
So I think that, well, first of all, I've been a serial entrepreneur forever. And I don't know whether you knew this, but I actually came from a major wellness background, right? I was a registered massage therapist for 17 years, actually.
No, I didn't know.
Yes, I was a nutrition specialist. I was really into health and wellness, and how I got into that, I think, was just the craziness of motherhood, when you feel like you're just a zombie. You just, you go through that weight loss, all that kind of thing. So I got into, wellness and what that means in terms of wellness. And I think a lot of people think about that physical, we were talking about that physical aspect of wellness, right? I got to work out, I got to do my 10K steps. And then I found that there was this disconnect, right? Where, and some people went down the yoga path and they're all about meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, so we've got that spiritual path. And then it was, then there's this whole mental state that we can be in, that is sort of the in-between all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that if you didn't have that linked all together, kind of like what we were speaking about, that you really weren't getting the results you wanted, right? You're beating yourself up all the time. So this is kind of how I sort of started on this in my own journey. I used to teach Pilates.
I had no idea. I thought you started in brand. That's amazing.
Yes. So I think that once I had Luca, my youngest, is where I started to, start my online brand and started to recognize that people really needed to learn how to tell their story, right? We all have a story. And at that time, social media was, kind of coming out there. People were kind of trying to figure out, how do I tell my story online? How do I sell my product? How do I get out there? There was still that disconnect. And, I was doing it. So I had people reaching out to me, can I get your help? Can we do it? And this is kind of how I started the agency that I had, because people just really wanted help with it. And for me, I think that, I've been through my own challenges, even beyond, what you have mentioned, even the health challenges we all have. You have, we have, I think that's how we kind of connected is in the truth of it all, right?
Absolutely.
Having that conversation when you hire me to help you build your brand, but we have that real conversation. Like, let's talk about who you really are. Let's talk about the story that you may not tell, but has created who you are today. And I think that that's just, everyone has their kind of zone of genius or their special gift. And that's something that I've always enjoyed helping people with, right?
I
So
love that.
brand development, I think, came easy to me in that way, and I enjoyed it. And it was a very special gift. And, I was doing that for, I don't know, like 10 years, a really long time. And I think it's, when things are rocking and rolling and just going just the way you like, the universe goes, right? Like record scratch.
Record scratch, yes.
Let's just
hold the phone.
You on all that you've learned so far. So, and I'm going to be honest, like my personal growth journey is what I think brought me through where I am today. I think, I wrote a book. I wrote a book about 7 years ago that I have not published yet, and it will one day, but it's called Sink or Swim. And really it's just something I kind of feel like we all go through challenge, and you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. We know people that are sinkers, and we're there to help them.
Yes.
But then there's just people that go through some like crazy stuff. And how did you? So I kind of feel like I'm a swimmer, even though in real life I'm not an actual strong swimmer.
Figurative. It's all good.
So it was February of 2023, right? I find a lump. Actually, I had a couple years before that. My doctor was like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing." And I was like, "Get something." Yeah. And, came in for a physical again. He was like, "Yeah, no, I think it's okay." But around February, I told Jonathan, I'm like, this is almost the size of like a small golf ball. Like, I kind of feel like this shouldn't be here. I should get it checked out again. He was like, "Yeah." Turns out I didn't have one. I had 4.
Stop.
Yeah. So it was crazy. So I went in and he was like, "Oh yeah, this doesn't feel normal." So I went through, all the things that you do to, get the diagnosis, and I got it over email through my chart. And yeah, it was just like, no, what? No, this isn't my story. This is not my story.
Wow.
I eat organic. I work out, like I chemical-free makeup and dishwasher detergent. No. This doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really threw a wrench in the plans for sure. But you gotta kind of go through it. And so I had, before I knew it, it was like, okay, we booked the surgery, mastectomy. After that, they were like, okay, we found one lymph node that it went to, which means that usually you're gonna have chemo and radiation. Now, all of this is your own choice, right? But, do you go natural? So I decided, you know what, this is the path that I want to go on. This feels good to me. This feels right to me. And, I went on that path, and it was just, it was one of the darkest times of my life. I would say, like, I still showed up and, was still doing my thing. But I have to say, towards the end of that year, I just had to stop doing everything. Like, I couldn't function. It was really, really hard. I lost my hair. So I still have one reconstruction surgery to do still. Like it was crazy. So during that time, I think that, and even the challenges, before that, you develop resilience, right? You're a thinker, you're a swimmer. And I think resilience is one of my superpowers. I'm going to be honest. I'll flex on that and say that it's something that I have. And through that time, although being resilient, and I think when you've been through something as harrowing and horrible as a cancer journey can be, I'm so blessed that I'm here to tell the story. Many are not, right? Because I ended up being stage 3. So I'm here to tell the story, and I'm healthy and I'm good now. But, when you go through that, I think that I was just really looking for a spiritual home.
Yes.
And October 7th happened, literally towards the end of my treatment. It was just such a bad time.
Yes.
For many, but certainly for myself and in our household. And I don't know, I think that's what pushed me over the edge, where I was like, 'cause so many why would you convert to Judaism right now? I kind of feel like it's a bad time. Are you sure?
Not sure about this one.
When I told Jonathan I wanted to, and my best friend, they were like, no, we're not going to let you do this. No, this isn't, no, you're not. What are you doing? No, you're not going to. And by the time Hanukkah rolled around, Jonathan was like, okay, I can see that you're serious about this. I don't make flighty decisions.
Right.
And I really kind of took my time with it. And this just really felt good and right to me. And so I would say where I am today and with Reina and, this whole movement behind this brand, I'm going to say the two impactful things really were going through this cancer journey and my conversion into Judaism. And that really, underlined this concept of resilience, with the Jewish people in general. Like the more that I was learning, and not just about the religion, it was less about learning about a religion. It was more about the way of the people, the community, who they are today, who they've been. We talked very little about God. Right. And whether I believe in God, and very little. So it was really interesting. And it's a lot of, I'm going to be honest, it's a lot of trauma to take on. It's a lot. It's a lot to take on. But again, I was so inspired by this concept of this resilience of this people and the way that light is such an important part. I'm not even going to say of the religion, because it is, but of who we are as a people. And it's who I am.
And women in particular, right? Like women light the candles, women shine the light. It's a really interesting way that we as a nation bring the female role and bring it up and rise it up. So that is wow. Before we get into it, I do want to take a quick break, but then I want to get into what was that key moment spiritually, because I feel like you've always been a spiritual person, that made you even consider that conversion. We'll be right back. Okay, and we're back with Michelle, and I had just asked her, what was that key thing? What was the moment or what was the story that made her even consider conversion when she'd already been such a spiritual person?
I truly feel that once I had been through that year of cancer and treating cancer, it was, you look at your life and you say, like, how have I been doing things? Right? When you've been through something where you've been this close to death, you kind of like renegotiate, you really kind of look at things and say, like, how have I been doing things? Has it been working for me?
Wow.
How do I handle my stress? How do I this is not about working out. This is not about how I eat. How has my spiritual health really been? Yes, I believe in the universe and I believe in myself and I believe in this higher power, but am I afraid to call it something? Like where does this actually belong? I grew up Hindu. And I don't practice it, right? But light was a really important thing. Meditation was a really important thing. So I had somewhat of a basis to grow on. But I really do think that when I started to learn really what was happening in the world and in my world, right? I mean, my partner is Jewish. My best friend is Jewish. I'm surrounded. I'm going to say it was October 7th that really pushed me over the edge. For me, I'm the kind of person, when I see something that's such a massive injustice, you just I'm in bizarre world. What's happening?
What's happening?
Who are these people? Let me dive deep into understanding what's going on here. And it didn't make sense to me. I just didn't understand it. And I'm going to be honest, going through that year of cancer, all our Jewish friends, stepped out of the woodwork and were showing up with matzah ball soup. What can I bring you?
Yeah.
I want to bring you food. I want to how can I support even you? When I messaged you and said, Nicole, I'm converting, the first thing out of your mouth was, what can I do to support you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody was so supportive. But
that gives
during
me chills
my healing
because
journey,
it just feels
I'm going to say 98% of the people that said, not just I'm praying for you, but what can I bring you? What can I do for you right now? And literally actually showed up.
Yeah.
So I started to understand that this is part of the way the community lives. They don't
Yeah.
just go to shul, but it's really part about this is who we are as a people. We really
We
support,
support,
especially
we
people.
uplift. Yes.
Yeah, like that really, really moved me. I'm
Mm.
not saying that non-Jews don't support, but this was just like something that was in my face. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, this is beautiful. Let me learn more. Let me understand more objectively. And I just became more and more connected when I started to really understand not just the concepts and the foundations of the religion, but really understanding what it means to be Jewish as a people, um, despite all they've been through. And my personal journey was that, right? Like
Wow.
of resilience. And I'm
Yes.
like, this is me. I feel at home here. Um, so that's what I'm going to say. That's what took me to where I am right now in terms of converting.
I love that. That's an incredible story. And I love that it also had a little bit to do with your community, with your partner, with your best friend. Um, and having something as traumatic as October 7th be that changing point is pretty remarkable because not many people would approach it. Just like you said, Jonathan was like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. But you did, and you found light, which is amazing. How do your kids feel about it? What did your family say? Like, what did the kids say?
The kids were like, okay, mom. Like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm starting new businesses. I'm always doing new things. So I think they were just like, okay, like, like their dad is Catholic, and they've gone to Catholic school, and I think for them they were just, well, what does this mean for us? And that was part of the challenge, I think, and I wouldn't say it's a challenge right now, but it's understanding how to blend this in because you're the woman of the house. You're leading, you're
Mm-hmm.
growing, you're developing and creating a Jewish home. Even though my children aren't currently Jewish, yeah, that's it's been something that I'm very aware of and how to slowly bring this into their life. Like, listen, they love Fridays, they get fresh bread, mom
Yeah.
makes fresh bread. They know you can't touch it till there's like a certain time. And yeah, like it's pretty funny. So like to them, it's great. They're like,
I
wow, it's
love that.
Thanksgiving every Friday. That's awesome.
I
Um,
love it. But there are so many
yeah,
different cultures. And I feel like, you
yeah,
talked about how you grew up Hindu. Your children were raised Catholic. They go to Catholic
yeah,
school, but there's, really important Jewish people in your life. And now you've converted. Like, I love the idea of educating children, your children, all children, about different cultures, different ways of connecting with a higher power, whether that's God or something else, and just
yeah.
spirituality in general, and how that can take you through. And it's a super interesting kind of topic to dive into. And I'd love to hear like a little bit about the journey of starting to make candles and connecting that to light that has been such an important part of your life to date, and then connecting that to Reign of Judea and Judaism.
Yeah, like how'd you get into candles? I know.
Well,
Like
it's
where did
it's
they
it's
come from?
pretty cool, and they are guys like you. I know we're gonna talk about where to find them, but they are stunning. Like when I say they're stunning, like pieces of art, they're gorgeous. Literally, I'm like, I want to put them out in my house every day. Like I want them on, up, lit, beautiful.
Yay. Well,
Yay!
that was my goal. You know, not to sound, cheesy, but like as I went through my conversion process, I really fell in love with the concepts. And again, I thought I was going to learn about, prayers and going to shul and holidays, which I did, but it was really about how to live.
Mm,
And I fell in love with that and all the holidays. Like I love to decorate for holidays. I love I just love all of that. And
mm,
because I was falling in love with Judaism, I didn't see or feel a way outside of religious rituals to be able to celebrate all of that in my home. And I felt like at this time, it was needed even more
Mm,
when friends and people I know in the community are speaking about, wanting to take down their mezuzah from their
mhm.
door.
Yeah.
When people are like afraid, people reach out to me all the time and go, like, even before the conversion, Michelle, thank you so much for your posts. Thank you so much for posting all the time. Oh my God, you're such a voice. You're such a
It's
voice. You're
so
such a voice.
important. It is so important because particularly at the point where October 7th happened, and I don't think you had converted at that point in time, anyone who would support
Yeah.
it was just like a gift, a blessing, because of course within the community we can support, but seeing
Yeah.
others really understand, and obviously you do,
Yeah.
is incredible, truly.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just felt this, I don't know, it was like bizarre world. I always say, like, how is this happening? How are people not seeing this? This is just so, why are we not using critical thought? Like, what's going on? So for me, I'm just that kind of person where, like, I have to speak about it. And I found this fierce, I don't know what it's like. It wasn't even a protectiveness, but it was just this, maybe it's like my inner Jewish woman that was coming out. I don't know, but it was like developing that myself. But it was, I needed to be vocal about it. And I was stepping into my own pride, even though I was brand new. But I felt so proud to be Jewish, and it felt so good. Everything felt so good. So I needed a way to sort of bring that into the world. And honestly, while I was healing through, like, your cancer diagnosis is one thing, but if you know anyone that's been through it, it's the
Mm.
treatment that kills you.
Oh yeah,
Like, the
I know.
treatment is the worst.
I know.
So as I was healing through the treatment, even though it's been about 2 years now, like, I still, like, I'm on and off with the gym, energy levels and things like that. So I got into different hobbies, and this one hobby was just like, I wanted to learn something new. I just
Mm.
wanted it to be not related to anything that I had been doing. And it was something physical that I could create. And I think, like, if you're a creator, or you out there, anybody listening, when we create things, we change the energy, of course, right? Like, you're learning something new. And so as I was kind of developing this hobby, I also started to notice that, like, I wish we had like celebratory candles, like things that I could just light, like, as you see, like, we all know what Christmas smells like, right?
Yes.
If you light a Christmas candle, like, why don't we have that? Like, how beautiful would it be?
I love that.
Um, and it started there. So I started to make these candles, and I started to, create this out of sort of my own need to further that sense of celebration as I was developing my own Jewish home. Now, I also didn't grow up with these holidays, so I don't have memories of Rosh Hashanah and, like, all of these things I don't have. So I'm creating these memories.
This smells way
And
better than gefilte fish, I'm telling you.
100%. Even though I like it, absolutely. I'm gonna toot my own horn there. Like, they really do smell amazing. But it's funny because I heard Jonathan saying something to someone about, like, oh yeah, Michelle has a little candle business, and I was like, oh, did you just say candle business? I was like, this is I never wanted it to be about the candles, although I am so, like, happy when people say they're beautiful, and when people smell them, they're like, oh my God, this, like, I don't want to stop smelling it. But it was really about the movement. It was really
Mm.
about fierce, unapologetic Jewish pride. To even have this candle in your house is saying, I am proud, I'm loud and proud, and I'm proud of who I am in a time when we're seriously being dimmed, really hated on.
Mm.
Um, and it was just a way to just really honor that. And as I learned, have you heard of Hidur mitzvah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So this
Crazy.
concept of this Hidur mitzvah, I was like, okay, so this concept of, like, beautifying a commandment, right? I was like, doing these things beautifully. Like, I love Fridays because I loved making a beautiful Shabbat table. I loved, I don't know about you, but I know you do. I've seen your home. It was stunning,
Aw,
not where you
thank
live
you.
now. but like beautifying our home is a thing. You know, whether you're a
Absolutely.
woman or not, you've got someone in the home probably that loves to beautify it. And I was like, wow, this is actually like a good deed too. So this
It
was a way to
is.
also beautify your home, to light these, you don't have to light the candles just for Rosh Hashanah. You can light them anytime, but it's, you know, when you light it, and lighting candles, of course, changes the energy. We always light a candle to change the energy in our
Absolutely.
home, right?
Absolutely.
So
It's
this is
funny
like
growing up,
adding to
like
it.
we lit the candles for Shabbat, but I would I distinctly remember my mom lighting candles whenever she needed to pray on something, whenever she
Yeah.
needed to
Yep.
figure something out or ask God or Hashem for something. Like I distinctly remember like we didn't have beautiful Reina of Judea candles. We had like our Shabbat candles that she would just light one candle and
Sure.
pray on it. But I
Yeah.
love this idea of shifting energy. And I also love this idea of giving our children um, sensory memory moments
Got it.
that they can connect with. Just like you said, it really hit me when you said everyone knows what a Christmas candle smells like. Yeah, even I know. And I like have never really, celebrated Christmas. I've gone to Christmas parties, but like we know.
I
And
know.
you don't know what Rosh Hashanah smells like. But when I even think about, what the names infuse, whether it's pomegranate or for Sukkot,
Mhm.
etrog, and you can almost like even understanding what etrog is like from the lemon family, and you
Yeah.
can even smell the citrus without even knowing what the candle exactly smells like. It's powerful, which I
So
love.
powerful. Like we're creating them. So I knew that like when you're creating not just a brand, but you're creating a new kind of a concept, I saw sort of a gap there, but like
Mm,
it's funny, I probably only saw it because of who I am. Like I'm a
absolutely.
convert. I didn't grow
Culturally
up
and
with this. And so many
background.
people were like, oh, you don't really have that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like, well, I think this is going to be something great. And the more and more that I've shared it, like, I mean, we only launched not even 2 weeks ago, and like everyone's saying exactly what you said. They're like, oh my gosh, now I want to buy these as gifts for Rosh Hashanah, and I want to like give out hostess gifts, and this just feels so good. And I love like the movement behind the brand. And that means something to me. Like that is, I want people to talk about the movement, to be like, this is a conversation. I love that fierceness behind the brand. And like, it's called Reina, right? Like Reina, I suppose Reina is my Hebrew name. So that's actually where
Oh
that
my
came.
God,
Yeah,
girl,
like,
that's
yeah.
cool.
So that's where Reina came from. And I also chose it because my actual middle name is Renita. And that means little queen. So Reina also means queen in many other different languages. In Hebrew, I believe it means song of God. But I love this concept of like, the queen of the house. You know what I mean? Like Reina of Judea, right? So it was like really like stepping into that queen vibe energy and honoring it as a woman, or honoring it as whoever you are. If you are the queen of your home, the one that like remembers the traditions, you lead with that. You're the like, I mean, Judaism goes through you, right? Like if your family isn't
Exactly.
Jewish, unless it's because of you. It's so
Exactly.
special and
I
it's so
love
amazing.
that.
So this was something to, light your home, honor your Jewishness, be loud and proud. And like, this is really honoring her,
I
right?
love
Honoring
it.
her who's going to continue to bring those traditions and those rituals along her generational line, right? And you're
Absolutely.
growing like your daughter, right? She's going to be like
Absolutely.
twice as fierce as you are, right? Because
I
we
hope
get to,
so.
right. Absolutely. I mean, I met her. She's beautiful.
Yes.
But like, I think it is such an important thing that we get to do. I feel like, as a mother of the home, and in Judaism, but even outside of it, there's many Jews that are not
Absolutely.
very religious, but I want you to be able to light this. And even if you're not religious, to still be proud and
Yeah.
fierce, and know that even if you're not religious, like you have such a like powerful impact to all the generations to come. And that takes this light and this love and like that sense of mental wellness, spiritual wellness, physical wellness. It's so important. You know what I mean? And this gives you just another tool to be able to
I love
do that.
that. I love that. Let us take a really quick break and then we'll be back with a little bit more. And we are back with Michelle. And I just want to say, I so resonate with your perspective on how the female, particularly in the Jewish religion, leads the home, leads the family, and leads tradition. And I would love to understand, like, we talked about the brand being beyond candles. This is not just about beautiful, amazing smelling candles. What do you see the brand evolving to based on kind of what you shared about empowering not just any Jewish person, any person who just wants to light up their family?
Yeah, the truth is, you'll see in some of my posts, I really speak to the Jewish matriarch of the home and honoring her. But I also put in there, like, this is also for friends of Jews. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I want this to be a symbol. Like, if you support who we are as a people, like, include yourself in that. You know what I mean? Include yourself in this tightly knit community. Grow the 0.2% in love and in pride, and because we need it, and during these tough times, I'm going to be honest, like, I have a decent following on social media, and I would say I only had one or two people that actually posted, like, or reposted or said, hey, listen, I'm with you.
Wow.
I support you. And, like, there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. I just want to let you know I support you.
Wow.
There were a lot in our community that were like, oh my gosh, thank you for saying what I'm, like, kind of afraid to say. I'm afraid, right? So
it can be scary.
Reina as a brand I really want it to be this, this unapologetic pride that really spreads. Sometimes you need, like, a physical thing to kind of put it into, and maybe you don't have the words. Like, I'm happy to be the words for somebody else and have the voice for someone else. But this is really for somebody, like I was saying, who is kind of thinking of taking down their mezuzah or is afraid at work to speak about what's going on mentally for her, the mental health for Jews right now. Sure. Right? Like,
for sure. I mean,
so
it's not easy.
Part of that strength, a community that is, like, connected together, and is a loud voice, for major Jewish pride. Like, that is my goal. Is I would love that. But yeah, it's not really about the candle. I would love for, I know when people open them and light them, they're going to love them and be like, oh my God, this is actually an amazing candle. But the world doesn't need another candle. You know what I mean? It was this purpose behind it. But that's my big vision, is to, have also, in these holidays, to, like, oh yeah, we're going to light our candles.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like we all feel that
for your family.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that you say, friends of mine have spoken to me about the fear in taking down their mezuzot, or, not wearing their, Jewish jewelry, Magen David or Chai.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, now is the time to say it even more. Like, I have a tattoo with Hebrew on it. Like, it's not coming off. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I love that this is a symbol of pride. And it can be a symbol of tradition as well, right? So I'm enamored by it. I think it's very exciting. And I think a lot of us feel grateful to have some of these tools to share with our friends, whether Jewish or not, to instill that pride. So I'm so thankful for you just even thinking that way. Is there anything in your kind of conversion or any story of any female kind of Jewish figure that you've been like, oh my gosh, that's the kind of queen that I think this brand is all about?
Yeah. So I think, part of the bizarro world was where, when I see people that have the ability to speak and say, like, no, this is this, and it's the people that it was the list of celebrity Jews that were
Mm.
like all for ceasefire and all for feeding Gaza. But there were the few that put their lives on the line, like Deborah Messing and Maya
Mm.
Bialik. And like these people put their whole reputation, their everything on the line, their careers on the
Yep.
line, not just them, but like there are people that just no, Tishby, these people like come right out. They're out there. They're willing to speak their truth, be unapologetic, be emotionally intelligent about it at the same time, but fierce, right?
Fierce. I love
Fierce
it.
and willing to put it all on the line. And to me, like that, like those are the people that inspire me. Those are the people that are like, wow, you know
Mm.
what? It's okay if you have fear, because that's normal. You're human.
Yeah.
But when you have those voices, like they speak for those that don't feel strong enough to. I mean, gosh, this is a millennia of this kind of thing, anti-Semitism happening ongoing, which just blows my mind. I just don't get it, how all that happens continues to happen. But it's those people that put their reputation, their everything on the line. It just inspires me. And I'm
Yeah.
not like anyone special, but I'm happy to come out there and lead by their example. And I hope that more and more will say, hey, listen, like let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's continue that. So again, it's not about a candle. It's just another way for you to be that voice, even if it means lighting it and posting it on social media. And I am so proud. You know what I mean? I am
Absolutely.
so proud to be creating something that is not just like, something beautiful in my home and enhances that Hidur mitzvah and like all these, honoring the mother of the home, all these things. But like it is sort of like a quiet defiance, in the face of anti-Semitism to say like, we're here, we're loud, we're proud.
Yep.
I just think that that's like a big thing. And when I was part of my conversion process, when I was looking into like who Jews are as a people, and I didn't know these things, and I kind of felt like this is huge. To think that we are 0.2% of the population, 0.2% of the population, and we have brought things like Einstein,
Yeah.
polio vaccine,
Yeah.
Google,
Ways.
like
Yeah.
people like RBG, like to me, our light is wildly out of proportion than the size of our people. Wildly out of proportion, like that impact in the world.
It's pretty
And
huge.
to me, like that's what Reina is about. Like owning that fierce pride,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? In who we are as a people. That's why I say I'm honored to be Jewish. I'm so proud to be Jewish. Like, look how small we are. Look what we've gone through as
Small
a
but
people.
mighty.
We were the OG slaves. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
look where we are now. And as
Yes.
such a small people, we are so powerful and full of so much light. um yeah, I just feel honored by that. And that alone, when I learned that, I kind of felt like, right now, being fierce and proud and unapologetic in these times when we're told to dim that light, like I won't have it.
Yep. I feel you. I think it's particularly for someone who is public or someone who's on social. It is a very scary thing. Like I myself have gotten like death threats and,
Yeah.
just all the negative things. But I will tell you that even before October 7th, corporately, I have definitely faced quite a bit of anti-Semitism.
Wow.
But I was always a loud voice. So, I have examples of, on Friday, I would take the train home, and one day it wasn't a Friday, and I was trying to take the early train to see my kids, and someone was like, "Is it another Jewish holiday?" And I was like, "Are you allowed to say that in corporate? Is that happening?" Or, I worked at another organization where there was like a holiday or festival calendar that was just spanned every religion, every holiday. But interestingly, like Jewish holidays were absent. So I was in a position where I was pretty senior in marketing. And I was like, I think
Yep.
we're going to add all the Jewish holidays.
I love it.
But, I had to fight against like activating them or saying, happy Passover, for example. But
Yep.
there was always room for, Merry Christmas or Happy Kwanzaa or for Ramadan or for any other religious holiday. And those are the moments that for me, like, as a Jew, I feel the most proud of when I could stand up and make change to open people's minds. And I feel like that's what you're doing. You're making change. You're opening people's eyes. And I think also just sometimes it's about humanizing it. I feel like
100%.
there's a personal connection that people are making with you, with myself, with anyone that might speak out. And if someone is very connected to you as a human, perhaps their perspective on the nation or the religion might evolve or change to rethink, a negative bias that they might have had. So I think in order for us to be mentally healthy, like after October 7th, I think my kids didn't understand because I was like sitting Shiva. I was in mourning. I still am about the pain, the death, the hurt, like all of the negative things. And mourning, the Semitism, like on Friday, I when I pray to Hashem and I light the candles, I pray for the world to stop being so anti-Semitic so that my children can, grow in a world where they're fully accepted. And, having, a product like this, a brand like this that can speak volumes just in the physicality of the beautiful candle or whatever it is that you continue to create is just so powerful and meaningful for us. So I love it so much.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
I'm like so excited by it. And, it's also really interesting. Like, obviously I was born Jewish, but it's so interesting to see you light up in your journey and your learning of, everything that you've shared of why you fell in love with Judaism, why you converted. Like it's so interesting and beautiful to see. So I thank you for your openness as well.
Thank you.
So I know we don't have too much time, but I kind of wanted to, share where people can find you, share anything else that you want to, share with us about yourself, about the brand and anything like that.
I mean, I really feel like, obviously they can go to reignofjudea.com. You can follow our new account on Instagram at Reign of Judea. You're welcome to, follow me as well at I am Michelle Tegola. I would love for you to reach out to me. I want to hear, how you feel and all of that. I kind of feel like I've said it all. I feel like, for once, I'm able to take all that I feel and put it into something physical. And it feels special to put my love, my intention, and my story of who I've become, even as a new Jew, into something physical. So know that, like, when you light this candle, it is filled with so much intention and love and connection. And it's like you're letting me in. You're letting me into your place, right?
I
like
love
that
it.
is so special. And I think that, when we look into who we are as a people, I feel so honored to be part of it. A religion and a community that honors their women.
Isn't it amazing? It's true.
Part of the mission, like this whole concept of tikkun olam. When I learned that, I was like, what? Heal the world?
Heal the world.
It's part of our mission to heal the world. Like all of those things are just so beautiful. So I'll continue to, champion it and I continue to like learn and grow. I feel like my learning has started just now. What it means to become a Jew. And I feel really honored.
Oh my gosh.
And,
well, congratulations on this journey.
I just love like being a part of the community, and my goal is to grow that community. It's not really about selling more candles.
No,
I want
of
to grow
course.
that community and that love and that fierce pride and support.
And I feel like with
That's
every word you say, like we can feel that. This is not about selling candles. This is a lot deeper and a lot more personal. And I think this story is also just inspiring to anyone listening. Like if you have a feeling, pursue it. If you want to start a hobby out of necessity, out of pain, out of love, out of whatever, and turn that into something much bigger than you ever thought possible, go and do it because it is possible. And if you're someone who is searching for spirituality as you go through a journey, find it, because finding that spirituality can really create this holistic journey for all of us where we are healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And having all of that come together can really make for something powerful like Reina of Judea. I am going to obviously like tag and put in the show notes and encourage everyone online, but I am just so grateful for you for speaking out, for all of your perspectives and all of your innovation, and also for your strength and courage. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I love you, babe.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.